Now, I don't want to say I told you so, but remember my video in front of the Egyptian obelisk in Paris when I said France owes everything to Africa? Well, since Africa has started seizing back their resources, France is literally collapsing like today.
Please welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Stranda. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of ours, you guys are the real MVP. So, lovelies, France is collapsing. Like, France is at the verge. No, they're actually at the verge. They're already collapsing because so many of the African countries who they keep on stealing all of their resources and profiting all of their suffering are beginning to take back their resources, are beginning to take back all of their belongings, starting from Burkina Faso. Now other African countries has actually take the lead. No, lovelies, I'm just going to roll it. Leave me your own thoughts.
Now, I don't want to say I told you so, but remember my video in front of the Egyptian obelisk in Paris when I said France owes everything to Africa? Well, since Africa has started seizing back their resources, France is literally collapsing like today. 200,000 motherfuckers rioting in the street. They throwing crepes at the police, hitting them with baguettes. I seen 2 motherfuckers sword fighting with baguettes. Motherfuckers, the police, they talking about... No, I'm gonna laugh at people struggling, but the economy is falling the fuck apart. They sacked the prime minister, cut health care, cut holidays. So you gotta understand, our Western comforts, hey, I got them too, nigga. I do, are the direct result of third world exploitation. Western luxuries are the result of imperialist exploitation, racist exploitation, straight like that. Act like we're an afterthought and should be grateful. But you turn off the pillaging of African, South American resources, castles crumble, my nigga. 14 African countries kicked France out. They've been giving 80% of their GDP to France. Niger nationalized the uranium. Burkina Faso nationalized the gold. Mali nationalized the gold. Senegal ejected the troops. What's up, babe? I'ma clean it up, okay? The point here being the colonized peoples of the world are the literal lifeline of the West. They've made themselves entirely dependent on our exploitation, which leads you to ask, the fuck they gonna do when we take the power back? It ain't gonna be sweet.
And for the day's business news, Yuka Roy joins me now on set. Hi, Yuka.
Hi, Jenny.
So the French Prime Minister François Bayrou is seeking to garner support for his very unpopular and controversial budget plan, and he defended that, or he attempted to defend that in a news conference today.
In a news conference today, indeed. Well, it's going to be a busy week for the French Prime Minister. He is set to address a labour union conference on Tuesday and a meeting of France's main business lobby on Thursday. At today's press conference, François Bayrou warned that France was facing an immediate danger of falling into over-indebtedness. That's when a nation owes more than it can repay. He said that the debt servicing cost will become the largest expenditure this year, surpassing that of education or that of defence. Let's take a listen to him.
La France ne peut pas ignorer ce danger.
France cannot ignore this danger. It cannot stand idly by. It is heading for disaster if it does not take the courageous but still possible and bearable decisions that are necessary and that we are debating.
Qui s'impose et que nous débattons.
And as you said, Jenny, the 2026 budget plan outlined in mid-July has been deeply unpopular. Unions are threatening to bring France to a standstill with a general strike on the 10th of September. It calls for 44 billion euros in spending cuts with the goal of bringing public deficit down to 4.6% of GDP. The proposed measures include reducing the number of public holidays, deep cuts to unemployment benefits and de-pegging pensions from inflation. The Prime Minister said these measures would still be open for discussion and announced he'd call for a vote of no confidence on the 8th of September. But he stressed drastic action was still needed to reduce France's debt pile. It stood at 60 billion euros last year, hitting 113% of GDP, with budget deficit rising to 5.8% of GDP. That's nearly twice the limit set by the European Union. The amount is set to rise to 66 billion euros this year and 75 billion euros in 2026 at best, according to the Prime Minister. If the current trajectory were to continue, it would hit 107 billion euros by 2029.
Right, and next up.
When this collapse comes, and it's going to come, we in the UK are going to need to have some serious reflection on mistakes that have been made, and especially our foreign policy in history. And we're going to have to rely on these nations that we've been stealing from for years to deal with us, because we need them. We're not like Russia. We're not self-sufficient. Russia has its own oil, its own food, it doesn't have to import anything. It can survive without the world. We, a tiny little island, do not have that luxury. We need to import. That's why we've stolen so much history. So what happens, do you think, in the next decade as African countries are rising and getting more powerful, and the Western countries that had them under their heel for so long, like the UK where I live, are on the way down and their economies are collapsing? What help do you think we're going to get from those countries that are becoming more powerful? How do you think that the Africans are going to look towards the English with regards to trade deals and buying their uranium off them if we need to? They're not going to look too kindly, are they? Especially if there's absolutely no apologies whatsoever. And as far as I can tell, this country doesn't apologise for jack shit. And the reason it doesn't apologise is because if it apologised for the stuff that it's done, it'd have to start giving back all of the stuff that it's stolen. I've spent hours inside the British Museum. That place is an absolute, it's a treasure trove. It's incredible. And it's nearly all nicked. And we're going to have to, in the UK, in the West, really start looking at our place in the world and really start looking as to whether we really do value the things that we say we do. I saw somebody earlier saying, you know, this is what the West do. They just play pretend. It's no wonder the West now accept a man being a woman if he just identifies as one, because we in the UK have been identifying as a nation that is on the side of law and order. A nation that values free speech as it's censoring everybody. A nation that values freedom of the press and is a shining light and a beacon for freedom of the press throughout the world, whilst it's literally the best journalists the world has ever seen in its capital. We say we are these things. Our government says them all the time. The diplomats are like that. But it's just all hot air. Nothing we do as a country backs up what these people are saying the country is. Nothing. I love my country, and that's what I want my country to turn into, to be. I think it's the most patriotic thing a person can do. But
Africa is third world. Africa is third world. Yet our wealth built you.
Do you guys know that 14 African countries still pay a colonial tax to France?
5 out of the 14 African countries that France was forcing to pay a colonial tax that was worth $500 billion per year stood up to them, and just 5 caused the economic collapse of the French government. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and Chad, I believe. It took only 5 countries standing up to France for France to topple.
So now that Africa, 14 countries in Africa has cut France totally off. They told France that they will not be sending them no 85% of their income. They will not be doing it. They've been doing that shit since 1959, and they will no longer be doing it. France thought that Africa was playing. And no, they weren't. Because now, France, their economy is tanking big time. They are in such a deficit. Their country is just falling. It's burning right now. It hasn't even been 3 months, and they can't pay their bills. Those 14 countries in Africa is putting France fucking out of business. And that's only 14 countries. You know, Africa has 52 or 53. What is France going to do? And Africa don't even want to make no deals. They don't even want to work with them. They don't want to do shit. They're done. They're finished. It's over with. We don't want to talk to y'all no more. Them 14 countries are trying to get the other countries to just start pulling back too. So France is falling. France is falling, y'all.
Bitch, Candace Owens made, I don't know, girl. Candace Owens may win that lawsuit. And she got a good chance of winning that lawsuit. Did y'all hear about what's going on in France? Girl, grab your mug, sit down, honey. Because I got some tea to spill, all right? All right. So the French government is collapsing. I swear to God, streets is talking. They said the French government is collapsing. Do you know that they are on the 4th prime minister in under 2 years under Macron's leadership? Not only that, he just resigned. The 4th prime minister of France. Remember, I told y'all, anytime a man's or the president's personal or self-care starts to deplete, i.e. Macron's hairline was literally running away from his face. When just 2 years ago, his hairline was perfectly fine, but all of a sudden, your hairline is literally saluting us from back here. That alone tells us you broke. You broke it and broke. And then you hire somebody to sue Candace Owens, but refuse to have your wife take a DNA test. That alone told me that was a money grab, and you trying to tie her up in litigation for money. And you're going to do whatever you can to try and pretty much scoot around the topic at hand to basically force Candace Owens to lose that money. I'm not on Candace's side. I'm just telling you what I know. Okay, I'm clocking your tea allegedly, right? So this is the things that I've noticed. Like your self-care is depleting. You going around legal systems to try and sue somebody, but not actually being direct when it comes to information sharing, i.e. your wife's gender. I don't know what it is, but there was a way you could have completely swiped that under the rug and shut people up about it, but you decided to take the legal route, which tells me you want the money. You trying to get like legal, like litigation money bags, right? Because you broke, right? So boom, turns out I was right. So how about they was going over France's budget, right? They going over France's budget, and they said, baby, we hemorrhaging money. We spiraling money. And this man still hopping on a jet every other fucking day. We cannot afford none of that shit. We got to shut it all down. We got to make something shake. Got to make $1 out of 15 cents. That's how bad we are. It's giving standing in a child line broke. Standing in a child line. Good times. Hey, we lucky we got them. Doom, 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 doom. Good time. Except the times ain't good right now. Baby, we knew France was broke when we saw that shit at the Olympics. We knew. We was like, what the fuck is that? Is that river full of dookie? That's crazy. Then they showed us the Olympians. These are Olympians, the best people of the best in the world. And those were the living conditions and the food and child. Yeah, that screen broke, right? So right now they was going over the budget, and they was talking about the deficit of the budget, and basically about how they hemorrhaging money and they don't foresee a way out of the situation. Now, anytime the prime ministers decide, you know what, this is too big of a job for me, I got to get up out of here under one particular leadership, that means that you are a primary reason as to why that shit going on, and they about to Marie Antoinette the shit out of you. And he don't want to be nowhere near this motherfucker when it happens. Now, what I will say is the people and the votes that they took, it alluded that the people in France basically lost all faith in the current governmental structure and the people that are actively sitting in those seats, right? Let me show you something that I just saw on the mean streets of Twitter, because I already heard about this, seeing as though France was doing all them different coups and paying all them different people, and none of them worked. And then how he acted out, how Macron acted out when he found out that they was not only getting rid of a bunch of the French colonial shit, but they also was separating from the national language, Burkina Faso and Mali, separating from the national language of French. They were no longer going to be using that, which again, that's monetary, because you know the books, all that stuff, right? You got to pay for that shit, right? But also they were no longer going to be using a franc or anything that comes even anywhere close to the franc, which is the French dollar. So I was like, damn! And then like all these other African countries snatched their shit back too, including the mines, the language, the money, everything, the imports, exports, you name it, baby, they snatched that shit back. They may as well snatch the paint off his motherfucking toes with it, okay? They snatched that shit decline so motherfucking fast, okay? They said that man can't even buy himself a goddamn can of SpaghettiOs at this point in time. That's how broke they are. Yikes! Let me show you what they saying in the streets, y'all. Okay, so boom. This was breaking. News that is breaking. The French government has officially collapsed as Prime Minister Francois Bayrou loses the confidence vote, right? Now, that is to prepare for the full, you know, like, vote or whatever the case may be. Now, it turns out his resignation sparked and was triggered by the budget, austerity, child, it's chewing me up. That budget proposal aimed at reducing France's public deficit and spiraling debt, right? Which pretty much ties their hands in anything outside of France that they can do, because right now the public budget is so far in deficit, they don't know how they're going to get out of that hole, which is why, why they was doing so many of those coups, because they like, fuck, like, this is we were already in debt. And then this is the worst possible time. Okay, so imagine you got $20,000 in credit card debt, right? And out of nowhere, your car gets repoed. And you finna lose your crib. And as you on the verge of trying to keep your crib, they completely fire your ass. So you have no way to pay for nothing. That's basically the financial state that they're currently in. Not exactly, but I'm giving you the level of stress that they're at right now. It's raw. It's real raw around this motherfucker, and you don't get food stamps, so you have no idea where your next meal is coming. That's literally what the current state is kind of like right now. Now, again, this is the second government collapse in less than a year, and the fourth prime minister to serve in under 2 years under President Emmanuel Macron. These are factoids as reported by the press. Okay, not alleged. These are facts. Okay, this follows a snap election in June of 2024 that resulted in a hung parliament with no clear majority. They already was on the chopping block. The people was already ready to bring the guillotine, and now he had to get up out of there, honey. He had to hit the bricks. He said, God damn.
France is collapsing and their economy is in shambles, but there was something a lot of people is not telling you. The reason why France is collapsing and their entire civilization is up in flames is because Africa, the continent, is cutting them off. Multiple African countries is cutting off France from their resources. You understand why a handful of African countries seem so poor based on perspective? It is because 90% of their income, of their earnings from their resources goes directly to France, and that stabilizes their economy. Niger, for example, cut off France from their uranium, and now Niger is going to use their uranium for their benefit alone. For the longest time, I have waited for this. I waited for the collapse of Europe and see if they can actually manage to pull through without the resources of Africa. Can Europe actually strive without the colonialism on Africa? Is it possible? We're about to find out. The UK is also facing significant pressure from Nigeria, because Nigeria is thinking about cutting these people off as well. If you ask me, Nigeria should have done that by now. Get rid of teaching French in schools and focus on your own language. Ethiopia just opened up a massive game changer, created one of the biggest dams in the world. The day of European rule is coming to an end, and the rise of Africa is finally upon us. I think it's about that time to go back home. I think it's time. But first, a couple things. The civil war in South Sudan and the war that is happening in the Congo. That needs to end ASAP. And all the other conflicts that is happening within the African continent in these African countries needs to be settled immediately. Italy, Roma, Spain, they're all facing the pressure of being cut off or already cut off from African resources. Ladies and gentlemen, colonialism is coming to an end, and I couldn't be happier. Yes. Now we just gotta wait for America to cut off Africa and we'll be golden. That's all I gotta say in the matter. It's Onyx and I'm gone.
I seriously love this. There is this say that there is a time in life where someone will be so pissed and fed up. I think that is what is happening now. Like, Africa is fed up and they are not rising. I think they are rising and they are taking back what all of these colonizers have taken away from them or have been taken from them. It all started from Burkina Faso. I don't know if you guys still remember the stitch I put up here about Burkina Faso not wanting to have any form of relationship with France. If you also remember, France has had a very big influence to Africa. Like, there is a percentage of tax that African countries pay to these European countries. Like, these people are so comfortable to call maybe African countries a third world country. Oh my God, without, forgetting that they are the reason why Africa is the way at which it is. They are the reason why stealing African natural resources. Let's just take, for instance, Congo. Let's take, for instance, Congo. Look at the way at which Congo is today. Look at how poverty, like Congo have been undergoing genocide for the longest time I can never remember. Like, they have been undergoing genocide, they have been undergoing mass destruction, stealing of the natural resources, and the way at which it is today. But although they are beginning to, like, they are developing, they are standing up to their feet, right? But most of the things that most of these developed countries, especially Europe and all of that, most of the devices we use, especially the phones, right? iPhones and all of that, the copper and everything is being gotten from Congo. But the said Congo that is filled with rich natural resources, God-given resources, is suffering. But these guys keep on going there, miming gold and everything, stealing, living all of each citizen in poverty. Then another thing they do is that most of these African leaders, they do so well that most of the European people will put will I call it an undercover person. They're making some of all of these African leaders as a puppet to them. If you don't accept what they want, they are going to unalive you. This is what they have been doing to Burkina Faso. And that is why Ibrahim Traore decided to stand up to his feet. Ibrahim Traore has faced a lot of criticism. He has faced a lot of life threat. They want to unalive him. Like, he has faced so many massacres, but he always come out victorious. Because of what? Because Ibrahim Traore have actually seen the light. Like, he is a leader that refused to be a puppet, that refused to endanger his own just because you want to be in control as a developed country. Ibrahim Traore is a man of the people, a man of vision. This man made it his ultimate priority that he's going to give free education, free healthcare, free water, light to his own citizens. And because of this, they don't want most of these things, they don't want Africa to actually experience some of these things. They are sending assassins to go assassinate him, but he keep on proving them wrong. This man decided to tell France that, okay, I am no more doing this with you. Even though you did that with our forefathers, even though you did that with the president before me, you can try that with me. We don't want to have nothing to do with you. He cut up ties with them. And now other countries are cutting ties with them. Other African countries specifically are cutting ties with them. And now they are going bankrupt. I thought it said that, oh, they are the ones that they have every. So why are they going bankrupt? Because Africa is choosing to just be on their own. Africa was like, okay, we're done. There is a way at which you keep on hurting someone, you keep on oppressing somebody, you keep on humiliating someone, and one day this person will stand to their feet and say that enough is enough. I believe this is what is happening in Africa right now. Africa is saying enough is enough. They are done with the oppression, they are done with the RNCs, with the stealing EDC, and they actually want to stay on their own. They don't care if they succeed or not. And now these guys are running herder scatter because, okay, these guys that they keep on stealing with are now out to take back what rightfully belongs to them. And I hope that they succeed. I hope Africa could succeed. Because enough is enough. Enough is enough. Anyway, lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video. Subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one. Leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.